What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? It is your boy Papa G, your favorite old young person. And baby, I got my pen and I got my paper today. And I got my brown liquor too. So you already know what we about to do. About to talk about these raggedy housewives of Atlanta. Okay. Season 16. The Sweet 16 was anything but sweet this season of Atlanta. If you know how when you turn 16 and you think you're gonna get like this banging beamer, you think you about to get yourself a nice little BMW because you got your straight A's and all of that. But on your 16th birthday, your daddy pull around and your mama's old hoopty. That is what season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta gave. It gives old hoopty. Okay? It gives old hoopty. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about this reunion, okay? And we're gonna talk about some of the aftermaths of the reunion, okay? And I think I can speak for majority of us when I say that after we viewed this last reunion, this last part of the reunion, I think we all took a collective sigh of relief and said, "Thank God it's over. Let's try it again next year." Should they even be in next year? We're gonna talk about that too, y'all. We're gonna talk about that too. So, you know, do what the little scroll is telling you to do. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, okay? And tell a friend or two, because it's shown up. It's shown up. We'll bless you, baby. Okay. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Listen. So this reunion, this part of the reunion picks up where the part two left off with Shamia and Portia going back and forth. Why are you arguing with me? Why are you arguing with me? Like, y'all. I'm gonna let me pose a question to y'all real quick. Do y'all think that Shamia and Portia were really friends? Or do you think that they were just codependent on each other? I'm leaning towards the codependency. Shamia hyped up Portia, and Portia, gave Shamia an inside view to this reality TV space. You know, um, oddly enough, people are saying that Shamia has been offered a peach numerous times, but she has turned it down due to her husband not being or not wanting to film. This man didn't even show up to the reunion. And we're going to talk about that too. This man didn't show up to the reunion. We saw this man smile and maybe say two words this whole season. And I'm talking about in person. I'm not talking because, baby, he had a lot to say on the FaceTime. But I'm talking about in real life. Okay. This man gave us a smile, maybe a hand wave. That's about it. But I really truly think that it's all for the sidebar. I really truly think that Portia and Shamia's relationship is really just a huge codependency. And what we're seeing, we the viewers are seeing, is that now that there are cameras actually following their lives and things that are told in private are now coming back on screen, you realize that there's not really a friendship there. Right? Because in the grand scheme of things, y'all been friends since Huck was a pup. It doesn't make any sense why a 20 plus year friendship got to end like this. And I mean, it sounds like y'all go way back to childhood. So this is probably a 30, 40 plus year friendship that we're speaking of here. So, I mean, y'all done paid for a house. If y'all done paid for a house and almost a half of another one in the time that y'all have been friends, you know. So it's just, to me, just this one season, and it's crippling y'all's friendship. To me, it gives y'all was just dependent on one another. Again, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but that's what it sounds. But that's what it's giving. It's giving a, we need each other. We lean on each other, and that's about it. So, okay, they bring up the Mama Diane and the Mama Morton drama. Okay, and shouts out to House of Aaron, who gave us Peeblins the tea on the Mama Morton and Mama Diane feud. And according to House of Aaron and Portia, explained on the reunion, this feud between Mama Morton and Mama Diane started when Mama Diane's daycare center went into foreclosure. And then Mama Morton said, well, okay, finders keepers, losers weepers, baby. And so she went in there and she bought that playhouse, and baby took old down Miss Diane's old raggedy sign and put up Mama Morton's daycare, baby. Okay. And they haven't been friends since. Now, that is the egregious part that Portia was talking about on her Instagram story way back when she was telling Shamia to keep her mama's main name out her mouth. And I just want to know, what did Shamia say? Like, can y'all help me find that for me real quick? What did Shamia really say that warranted that response, I should say? Okay. And then let's take another sidebar here while we're on this Mama Morton and Mama Diane stuff. Although it is a little hurtful that your friend is profiting on your demise, it's no different than what goes on every day in America. This is a capitalist society, okay? Now listen, okay, I tell you, I went on down there to Baylor University and I got my degree in accounting. Then I turned around and I got my MBA. So I took a few accounting courses while I was down there, to say the least. Okay. And what it sounds like to me is Mama Diane's balance sheet wasn't balancing, and her income statements wasn't income. Okay. That's what it sounds like to me. More importantly, though, is since she was facing foreclosure, damn the balance sheet, damn the income statement, although those are important. But what it sounds like to me is Mama Diane had a cash flow problem. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay. She did not have enough cash to pay the bills. Okay. So let me go ahead and just put a little game on y'all, put some game on y'all real quick. Okay. Put y'all on game real quick. All because you see these companies like McDonald's and all these other, Walmart, Target, that says they make billions of dollars in revenue. That doesn't mean they have billions of dollars in the bank. That's not what that means. That means that they sold goods, services, whatever the case may be, that grossed $1 billion in sales. Then, and some of y'all probably, well, I already know that, JT. You ain't putting us on game. Okay, well, let's trickle on down then. You get on down, and then you get this thing called net income, right? That's when you take that revenue number, you subtract all your expenses. Okay, that's how much the business made. That still does not mean that that's how much cash that company has. I'm going to say that one more time. That does not mean that if Mama Diane Williams Daycare Center had $100,000 in sales, She spent $80,000 on salary, blah, 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 and blah. And so now she has a $20,000 profit. That does not mean Mama Diane has $20,000 in the bank. That's not what that means. So that's why I say that if Mama Diane faced foreclosure, let me go ahead and put my other little banner on here, child, so I'm gonna get in trouble. This commentary is alleged, okay? But even though Shamia gave the tea, look, I ain't got time for people to come behind me, okay? For something that y'all said for all of us to view. And I'm just putting my little spin on it and trying to educate my peoples. Okay, all right. It sounds like to me, Mama Diane Williams Daycare Center had some cash flow problems. Because if you don't have the money to pay the rent or the mortgage or whatever the case may be, the bank is going to say, okay, we want this building back. You have defaulted on this loan that we have given you. So in response of that, we're going to take back the building. And we, the bank, don't want this building. We want to sell it or we want to mortgage it to another sucker. So we can make interest, right? Because that's how banks make money, right? They loan you $10,000, but you wind up paying $12,000, $15,000, $13,000 back. That's how the banks make money. So the bank ain't gonna sit up there and just gonna have the property sitting there because that's not gonna make them any money. So they're gonna sell the property for what they probably, mortgaged it to Miss Diane or how much Miss Diane owe. Okay, they're gonna sell it for that. So Mama Morton said, okay, let me go down here. Let me go down into this courthouse. Okay, let me go down into this courthouse and see who got foreclosed on. Oh, that's my friend Diane. Let me go ahead and buy her building then. Because we need to expand anyway. Yo, that's not that egregious. That's not that egregious. See, when it comes to business, I'm a real dick. Okay. And I see things in black and white. That's probably the only thing I see in black and white. Everything else, I allow my mind to gray it out. But when it comes to business, it's really and truly a black and white type of thing. And this is a black and white situation. I don't see anything so egregious about Mama Morton going and buying, Mama Diane's foreclosed building. It's not like she bought the bank out. It's not like she bought the note and kicked Mama Diane out. No. That ain't what she did. Okay, she went on down there. She got a loan and all this other stuff and paid the bank. And then, put her business in so she can pay the bank back. That's not that egregious. It's morally wrong. That's another issue, right? It's morally wrong. But it's not ethically wrong. It's not legally wrong. And it's not even business wrong. It's just morally wrong. And I think that seed was planted. See, I'm about to bring this all back around. And I think that seed was planted in Shamia and it was planted in Portia. Because they up there playing with their Barbie dolls and Ken dolls and and watching Soul Train, but at the dinner table or in the car, they hearing this from their mamas. Child, I don't know why you sitting up there. I know you Portia, I know you Shamia, I know Shamia is your friend, but watch your back, baby. Okay? Because if her mama did that to your mama, guess what? You don't think her daughter does the same thing? The apple don't fall far from the tree, baby. And then this is Mama Moore, baby. Look, this just, watch yourself, okay? Watch yourself. That's all I got to say, baby. Stay prayed up. Because you know, Mama Morton, from what we see, she don't sound like she just gonna get in there, you know what I'm saying, and just dog you. Okay, she gonna dog you like an old church mother. Baby, you gotta stay prayed up because them demons, baby. Okay, them spirits. Them spirits, baby. You gotta watch yourself, baby. That's why I pray over you before you go over there to Portia's house. Because, baby, them spirits. So you've been here, so you hear that. And then I'm pretty sure this is not the first time that Portia and Shamia done got into it. So now you take into an account of when they do have a falling out. Child, I told you she ain't no better than her mom. That's Mama Diane right there, y'all. She ain't no better than her low down, dirty mama. I told you that. And then this is Shamia mom. Baby, I told you gotta stay prayed up, baby. You can't have them demons on you, baby. You can't have them demons on you. Child, we're gonna take you on down there to the church and have Reverend pray for you, all right, baby? Child, look, I've been around some Mama Mortons in my day, okay? Y'all don't, I grew up in the church, okay? So I've been around some Mama, that's a baby, okay, all right, that's all I'm gonna say. Then, in the midst of Portia and Shamia, I stayed on this a little too long. In the midst of Portia and Shamia going back and forth, and Shamia bringing up old stuff to make herself feel vindicated in her wrong and ill feelings, which we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But that's you can't bring up past stuff to talk about how you feeling now. You can't do that. You got to talk about the current stuff that she's doing that's making you feel a certain type of way. Because what it sounds like, Shamia, is that you've been feeling a certain type of way for many, many years now. Okay? That's why you get so damn upset when Drew called you a lapdog. Because I'm pretty sure Drew ain't the only person that's calling you a lapdog. I'm pretty sure you're getting it from your family too. I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, you won't have such a strong emotion about it. You wouldn't have such a strong emotion about it if you didn't hear that before, and that triggers you. Because your tagline is, honey, +1. No, I'm the one. See, that tagline right there, and I don't like getting into the whole mind and the minutia of it, but since I'm on this rabbit trail, let's just go on down the child. When you feel like you have to make yourself feel big just to make yourself feel seen, that's a you problem, baby. That's not the other person. You have given your power to that person. And now you're trying to do everything to make that person respect you or to look at you as an equal. But guess what though? You have given them your power. So no matter what you do, they're never going to look at you as an equal. Why? Because it's a power imbalance there. And I feel like that is what Shamia is doing. That's what we're seeing. That is why she came on there so strong in episode 1, talking about her wealth. She can keep up with the best stuff. She don't like being defined by her wealth. But if you buy her some bad tequila, she gonna spit it out and buy the good stuff. That's why you see her with the Versace wallpaper. That's why she called her house Sterling Hall. I mean, I guess it's the house. I guess the house was called Sterling Hall when she bought it. I'm assuming. But girl, that's why she mentioned, her house was the biggest house sold in Atlanta or in Georgia that year. You try, Shamia, to make yourself feel big, to make yourself feel seen, to make yourself feel like you're on the level as Portia. And baby, I don't know who told you that you wasn't. Who told you that you wasn't? If I had to guess, I would guess it would be some of them housewives who think all because they hold a peach that they're better than the friends of. Because we as viewers think that. And I'm pretty sure some of them housewives think that as well. Shamia, baby, take your power back. Okay? Girl, I know you ain't gonna see this video, but still. If somebody share this with Shamia, just show her this section right here. Baby, get your power back. Take your power back. Because you got it. Go get yourself some therapy. Exercise them childhood traumas and all that other stuff. And reclaim your power. In Jesus' name. Amen, somebody. Babe, I need to get, babe, I have to go ahead and end the show right here, babe. That was a sermon. Okay, babe, where is the collection plate? I need to put my Cash App on here. I need to go ahead and put my Cash App on here because, babe, I just gave y'all a sermon. I was talking about Shamia, but baby, that was good enough for anybody. Okay, take that as you will. Okay, all right. One thing that annoyed me with Portia during this exchange is when Shamia made a valid point. It's like, hey, I reached out, and I haven't been getting anything. Girl, I've been grieving. I just find it funny that Portia can always use her grief when it suits her. Right? She was grieving. That's why she didn't go to Shamia's showcase. But she felt okay enough to go to Charles Oakley and Angela Oakley's charity event where she was honored. Like, if you so grief-stricken, baby, if you are just that bereaved, baby, cancel your social calendar and take that time. Go get in some grief counseling at your church. Right? Don't sit up there and use your grief whenever it suits you. You are so grief stricken that you can't hang out with your friend Shamia, but you ain't that grief stricken to go get honored at a charity event. Okay, I see you. And Shamia, I hope you see her too. Baby, I'm gonna say this. And then I might take it back. But Phaedra was not given besides oh Jesus, and a little undertones throughout the whole reunion. Besides her little spat with Angela, Phaedra didn't give nothing else for the rest of the reunion. Which is so sad because she looked a hot ass mess. If you're gonna look that bad, at least give us some memorable lines. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Moving right along. So they do a little flash shot of Drew drama, and that's why I named it the Drew drama, and talk about this fake storyline that she was supposedly trying to sleep with Dennis with for some beats. She was trying to give up the P for some beats, baby. Okay. She was trying to give up the booty for the beats, allegedly. I don't believe that. I really truly don't, y'all. If anything, I think my girl would. She would mortgage. She would probably not even put out a project until she's able to pay for it. I really truly think Drew is that person. When it comes to business, I really do. I think that she's professional. And I'm not a Drew fan, so don't take this as me like, oh, he team Drew. No, I'm really not. And that has nothing to do with Drew as a person. I've just never been a stand for Drew. I just believe in giving out judgment fairly as I see fit. Okay. Emphasis on as I see fit, because I know sometimes I'm heavy-handed on others and I'm not on some. Okay. All right. Moving right along. But she said that her kids are in therapy, which I think is good, because I think that this divorce is just terrible, right? And it played out on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm blessed that my parents have been together for over 30 years, right? And I don't know if my parents were big public figures or in the public eye like Ralph and Drew. And I got my daddy over here bashing my mama crying, left, right, and center. I don't know how I would take that, right? Like, would I resent my dad? Would I resent my dad? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I would take that. So I hope that the therapy that the kids are in is really helping and really helping them process this transitional phase in their lives. It's sad to see a Black family break down like that. Um, but I hate to say this, it was bound to happen with Ralph and Drew. I never looked at them and said that's a couple that's going to be there for 30 years. I've never seen that in them. And maybe they had some good times that we just didn't see. But since entering the show, I've never seen or never got a feel of, yeah, that's a couple that's going to be there for 30 plus years. No. So again, sorry to hear that, but I do hope the kids get the help that they need. And I hope Drew and Ralph get the help they need. Because it's not just hard on the kids, it's hard on them too. You know, that's where the lashing out comes in and comes out, right? Which leads me to my next topic in this Drew drama section, and that is the kitchen video. And I think in that moment, now Drew explained it that she was trying to have a moment. He asked to come up from the basement and just have a moment, a big family moment, and that was them trying to co-parent, but Ralph twisted it and turned it, because I think the caption was, she didn't only just call me daddy in the kitchen. Okay. Which, like, Ralph, make up your mind. Do you want your family or do you want to be in the streets? Right? I think you got to make up, because you can't have them both. Okay? You cannot have them both. You can't be indiscreet and still have your woman in the sheets. That's just not how that works. Okay? Eventually, all of that's going to come home to roost. Eventually. Okay? And so, yeah, I didn't really put too much on it, quite frankly. Um, Yeah, I didn't put too much on it. Let's move right along to Ralph's women's. Okay, according to Drew, Ralph had people or had a lady come through the basement door. Okay, had the lady come on down through the basement door, and apparently the lady was a mother at their child's school. And when Ralph came out there later, um, he's like, it was a lady did come, but it was all about physical fitness. If that's what you calling it, Ralph. I mean, if that's what you calling it, baby, okay. Physical fitness, baby. That's physical education, baby. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can give me some physical education after the show. Okay, all right. Amen, somebody. You know, that's just okay. All right. Moving right along. Get down to the ball main event. And y'all, Kelly is back. Okay, backpedaling, y'all. Cause she up there talking about Drew. I really wish that we could have got off on a better foot. You had 16 episodes to get on a good foot with Drew. If you wasn't stuck up Britt's behind or thinking that you was the Siamese twin to Britt and doing Brit bidding, maybe you could have got along with Drew. But then, you went to Team Shamia, and Shamia don't like Drew because Portia don't like Drew. And so now you like, well, I don't like Drew either. Okay? I don't like Drew either. And so it's like, no, you didn't. I didn't believe that from Kelly. I really, truly didn't. Maybe next season she can put her money where her mouth is, but I don't believe that she will. I'm just being honest with you. I don't believe that she will. But they talk about the ball main event, and that was earlier in the season where the ladies came and anything that they purchased that day went to the charity that Kelly was raising money for. And the big ordeal with Drew was that she didn't buy anything. And Drew said, that's not true. I did buy something. They just didn't have it in my child's size. So I had to order it. To which Kelly replied, well, then guess what? That didn't count because you didn't buy it that day. And here's my thing about this. And that is these women are of means. Every single one of them. Right? They are either millionaires or multimillionaires. Okay? Every single one of them. And if they're not, they're damn near close. So, or at least they front like they are. I don't know. Anyway, that's another discussion for another day. You try to tell me that Kelly, you could have gone to Drew and said, "Hey, I know she didn't get anything at the event. Do you still want to make a donation?" Because let's just be honest. What if I didn't like anything in Balmain? Huh? Did you ever think about that? Because that would be me, right? If I was ever invited to a charity event at a luxury brand and I didn't like anything there, I'm not going to spend my money just so I can say I supported your charity. Hell, I'll just write you a check. Sidebar, I remember in college, because my thoughts on charity and writing checks has pretty much remained consistent throughout my life. I'd rather write a check than go actually do the work. That's just me. And one of the girls in the class is like, "Oh, so you just missed your check, huh?" Well, I hope you have a big enough bank account. And I said, you know what I said? And I said, when you come begging for me for some money, I'll show enough to write you a check. Girl, don't try to play me in front of all these white folks. Girl, please. Think you gonna insult me by calling me Mr. Check? Yes. And the check's gonna have a whole lot of zeros on it. Amen, somebody. Okay. I'm speaking that into existence, baby. Okay, all right. Um, moving right along. My next topic. Shamia getting on everybody's nerves. Yeah, what was she doing? Because there were so many times during this reunion, especially this part in the reunion, where I'm like, baby, Shamia, you get on my everlasting nerve. Like, shut up. But oh yeah, I said that she was trying to check Angela on Angela's support of Drew. Wait, for Drew. What do I mean by that? Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Again, I think she was doing this whole comparison thing, like, you know, Angela, you was riding hard for Drew, but Drew didn't call you I didn't call you a lap dog for Drew, but you're gonna call me a lap dog for Portia. Because here is the difference, right? And that is when Angela thought something was wrong coming out of Drew's mouth, she was like, girl, that's wrong. That just sounds weird. Very first episode, right? When Drew was going on her soliloquy about Dennis and how he's an angel and all this other stuff. Angela's like, girl, that sound weird. That just sound weird. Okay. Versus you, Shamia, baby, you would have wrote that line till the wheels fell off. That is the difference between Angela's support for Drew and your support for Portia. Okay? That is the difference. And then Angela's like, girl, stop calling yourself, talking to Shamia, girl, stop calling yourself a lap dog. And that's another thing. And Shamia's like, well, everybody said I was, so you know what? Guess what? I just thought I could make fun of it and da 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 da. Girl, you played yourself in front of all these people. Like, Shamia this season was an oxymoron. Honey, I'm not a plus one. I am the one. But you acted like a plus one the whole season. I'm nobody's lapdog, but you up there barking at Britt's event. Kiss my motherfucking bitch. Like, and then when you get called out on it, you like, oh, that's just a Decatur in me. Girl, no. Girl, no. And then Angela goes on to say, baby, I'm too big. I'm too big to be somebody's lapdog. And see, this is where that makes sense. This is where Angela takes something that y'all talk about her and she makes it fun. She makes it funny. She really just slaps y'all's comments down, you know, because y'all call her big, y'all call her Big Bird. You know what I'm saying? She came in there with a yellow dress on. Y'all call her, Bigfoot and all this other stuff. She says, baby, I'm too big to be a lap dog. I can't fit on nobody's lap but my husband's. And Shamil, you going over there taking pictures like a lap dog. Girl, get off my line. Okay, get off of my line for real. All right, we almost there, y'all. We almost winding down. The husbands come out. Dennis said that he had a conversation with Portia, but then goes to say what. But I thought that Drew was gonna handle it because woman to woman. So what was the conversation about? Just a FYI. You going over there to pick up PJ? FYI, I'm working with Drew. Okay, go and talk to her about it. I'll holler at you later, babe. That 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 didn't make sense to me, y'all. Maybe if I go back and watch the no, I ain't gonna make it watch it. I ain't gonna make it watch this. I'm really not, y'all. Once I hit the end recording on this, baby, we are wrapping up season 16 of Real Housewives of Potomac. I mean, Real Housewives of Potomac, of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I will see y'all again on Monday nights when Real Housewives of Potomac come out. Okay, all right. Kelly got caught in a lie, and I forgot what the lie was, but I think she said that she hadn't talked to somebody, but just talked to somebody over the phone. Yes, it was the dentist. She said that her and Dennis don't talk, but they talk over the phone. And Andy was like, what? Then that means y'all talk. Anyway, Ralph says that he bailed Drew Mama out when Drew Mama allegedly spent all her husband's money and went broke. And I'm sitting here going, Ralph got it like that? I didn't know Ralph got it like that, because if you got it like that, sir, why are you living in a basement? Why is it your argument is, it's so high to pay for an apartment and the mortgage? But because if you're able to bail somebody out, baby, you got it. You got it. And I'm just gonna say this, and then we're gonna leave it alone. Ralph is weird. Like, I don't understand why you didn't sit behind Drew unless that was in the court order that y'all can't be in close proximity to one another. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why we had a husband segment this season. Because quite frankly, none of them got husbands except for Angela and Britt. And Britt didn't show up. This show is becoming the real divorcees of Atlanta instead of the Real Housewives. Because where are the housewives? I see ex-housewives. I swear, everybody this season seemed like they was going through a divorce, except for the two married people. And even then, them husbands looked like and acted like they didn't like their wives. Then, Charles comes out and he's like, you know what I'm saying? Where y'all? Charles asked the question that everybody in America was thinking. Y'all up here on me. Y'all saying that I don't treat my wife right. Y'all saying that I'm cheating. Y'all saying I'm this, I'm that. Where y'all husbands at? And baby, when I tell you clear the room, cleared. Cleared. Okay. It may have been a deflection, but cleared. And then we get to the finale, right? And they bring out the fans. And y'all, how did Portia forget Drew again? So, oh, girl, I'm sorry. And they danced it out. You know what I'm saying? I thought they was going to do the boots on the ground, but they I guess they did a modified version because I don't think Andy would have got all the steps. I really truly don't. I think that turn would have just did something to my man. Okay, I really do. But that's it, y'all. That is season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, what y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments below what y'all think. I will be back again. I know I said that last week I was coming back for a Friday show, but I ain't gonna say that a lot to y'all. Baby, Friday came around and baby, I was Tamala man. Truth is, I was tired and options were few. Okay, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. But do the Holy Trinity, like, comment, and subscribe if you love what you're hearing. Go on over to my Facebook, okay, and watch out some of my shows. I need to get my short videos and other type of content on the channel. I'm working on that as we speak. So this YouTube can actually be a central place so y'all can get everything that Papa's saying. And until the next show, y'all, I'll holler at y'all. Bye.